stock traders, and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, Stock Sumo. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us here on this thrashing Thursday, June 28th. Also, joining us on this morning's program, we have Sifakia. Good morning, Sifi.
Aloha, Sumo. This is a
How you
great
doing?
day in paradise. I am ready to rock this.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock too. And as you know, we strive to bring you the very best in CEO interviews here on Stock Traders Talk Radio. And we got a real winner for you today. And without any further delay, I'm going to pass it over to Haas, who's going to conduct the interview. Haas, why don't you take it away?
All right, cool, man. Thanks a lot, Stock Sumo. Good morning, Sifakia. Always a pleasure, boys. We have a special guest on our show this morning. I know we got lots of listeners out there very, very interested in STT Radio this morning. We have Mr. Brian Weber, the CEO and president of BeBevCo Beverage Company, stock ticker BBDA. As usual, we're going to cover a little bit about the company's history, but the main focus this morning is going to be on the company's future. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Brian Weber. How are you doing this morning, Mr. Weber?
I am very well, thank you. Enjoying a beautiful Carolina blue morning and ready for an exciting day and some big announcements on our company's front coming out today. And I'm real grateful to have the opportunity to be on with you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. This is definitely some exciting times for your company. You've been putting out some press that has got shareholders pretty excited right now, as well as us at STT Radio being excited, especially to be able to get you on the show at such a key time in your company's history and future here. So why don't you just give us a brief background on how your company got started? How'd you get into this beverage business?
Well, as many people know, I to give you a very accelerated version. I was a career contractor with over 900 retail stores built, and around the country, multiple state licenses. And quite honest with you, after about 15 years of that, I was burnt out. And my partner and current chief operating officer, Daisy Ramirez, and I were sitting in the office one day, and we said, we need to start looking for other avenues to explore. It's time to do something different. At the time, we had probably 70 to 80 Hispanic workers working with our company, and Daisy's a Honduran-born. And we had a meeting at the office, and it was a Friday afternoon sort of pep rally, give out the checks, barbecue type of situation. And all of these workers came in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and many of them had Red Bulls and Monsters in their hands. And she was excited. She came in the office. I was inside still, and she said, come outside. We had a little discussion. She said, what do you see out there? I see a lot of Latino workers. And she said, they're all carrying energy drinks, Monster, Red Bull, and a couple others. And I said, yeah. And she said, that's what we should be into. We should make an energy drink for Latinos. Coincidentally, we're located across the street from a co-packer that bottles Pepsi, Monster, and a lot of other products. So that's kind of where it started. We walked across the street the following day, and this was back in 2006, and started to do some homework and decided to make an energy drink to Latinos, and we continue to have that brand as well, Potencia Energy Drink. And it just basically elevated from there. We liquidated the contracting business. I had a roll-off sanitation business, and I had some hotel properties in New Orleans. Basically got out of all of that and said, okay, we're going to put all in. We basically got all in with the energy product and started working on it 2006 and 7 and 8. And then I was down in Texas selling my energy drink to a distributor down there, and we had a conversation about relaxation drinks. And something that he had said that kind of energized me to thinking about relaxation. This was when relaxation really just started becoming something you even heard about, and it started in Texas. And he basically said, I wish somebody would make a non-niche marketed relaxation product that could go to the mainstream, not necessarily the urban markets or the upscale markets. He wanted something to go down Main Street, and that's where it all started with our brand that we have now, Coma on Wine, that's growing very, very rapidly.
Very, very cool stuff. Yeah, why don't you just talk a little bit about the actual relaxation market itself? I mean, in this day and age, so many people are focused on trying to find enough energy to get around. Most people don't even think about the other side of that, relaxation. Why don't you just tell us, how large is this market in your
Well,
experience so far?
yeah, I've just did a speech in London. I was invited by the Global Beverage Conference back in March to give a speech about relaxation. I've been more and more people are turning to me to give my position on this category as one of the leaders of the category now, by virtue of hard work and great product, I suppose, and thousands of emails, feedback. It really boils down to this. Americans are stressed out. Over 70 million Americans don't sleep well. About 83% of doctor office visits are stress, anxiety, or sleep related. So 87% of people go to the doctor are going because of these three reasons, and that's what our drink helps with, all natural supplements. So then you take that category, put it side by side with the fact that $100 billion are spent in the United States every year between Advil, Aleve, Tylenol PM, Ambien, marijuana, beer, wine, and all of these products that help people relax and take out anxiety and sleep better. The money is being spent. So the bottom line is, are they going to start switching to something else, an alternative? And they are, and they're doing it in a very big way. The predictors of beverages, Mintel, Zenith International are predicting that for every 10 energy drinks sold on the planet in 3 years from now, there'll be 7 relaxation drinks. So that's about a $13 billion industry in the next 3 years. And right now, fortunately for us, we have the data that we're the number one brand in the United States and quite possibly the world. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we are answering the phone and the emails and sending out samples all over the world, and it is growing very fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I could use a relaxation drink myself. I'm up here in Minnesota. Is there anywhere in Minnesota where I can find your drinks?
We actually have a distributor in, I think, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Oh, really? I grew up in Mandan, North Dakota, right next door.
We do have a few distributors in the Dakotas and Minnesota, Wisconsin. I'm not sitting in a place at this moment. I stepped outside of my building because the place is very hectic, so I'm sitting outside in my NASCAR transporter in the lounge where I have to be so quiet. This is my private escape location so that nobody comes in and asks me something. But I'm sure that we could find you a place.
Wow, that's good. I would be very interested in trying your product for sure, and I'm sure I can order it online if nothing else. But yeah,
we have it on Amazon. We have it on our own website, and we also it's sold at Thirstmonger and a host of other internet stores.
All right. The next question I'm going to ask you is on twofold front here. Your strategic direction and business objectives. Obviously, you're expanding not only within the U.S., but overseas very rapidly. And recently, you've put out some press related to a new Mexican distributor partnership with a company that distributes alcoholic products, Grupo Cosaco. I was curious what your strategic direction was with that particular company. I've seen some products using the Coma Unwind and some alcoholic beverage mixes with vodka. I just love that idea in general. We see the Red Bull vodka drinks, super popular, the energy drinks, but on the other side of things, people think of like a nightcap at night and, alcoholic drinks mixed with your relaxation beverages. I think that's just fantastic marketing avenue. So why don't you just talk a little bit about that and also just your general strategic objectives? What are your plans in the near future here?
Well, what happened was we had an invitation by Grupo Cosaco to visit with them about our product going into Mexico, and they have a very growing number of routes they have that they manage distribution, and they have access to some of the biggest retailers. So my partner and I, we went down there, and we had a great meeting. So we brought our relaxation drinks, and we've got them about 10 people sitting in the office there, and And, we busted out the small cups, and we're all relaxing with some Coma Unwind, and they were, thrilled how well it tasted and everything. And then, like any other meeting, when you have a counterpart that has a product that they sell, they're proud of as well. They have vodka and soda, which is 5 flavors. There's a pina colada, there's a blueberry, and there's a orange, and I can't remember the other two. There's 2 others. And then they've got the Paris de Noche, which is cognac and cola. And then they have a mojito. And they're all in a can like ours, 12 ounce. And they're called, in the United States, they're marketed as premium adult beverages. And it's a brand new category everywhere in the world. But in Mexico, they're a bit ahead of us with them. So this sampling turned into a buffet of sampling. And before you know it, we're like, wow, we're trying 2 ounces of all these products. And we were thrilled at how well they taste. And then we started talking about how much margin are in them in product. And they had absolutely no short-term interest in launching their products into the United States. And, of course, when I had and I'm not a big alcohol drinker, I drink my beer here and there, and I have a mixed drink here and there with a meal, but I'm not a regular drinker. And I said, wow, this stuff is dangerously smooth. And, one thing led to another, and the opportunity existed for us to introduce the United States market to their products. So I said, well, let's just do a product swap here, and I'll sell yours, you sell mine, and we'll start to explore the opportunities. Well, I got back to the United States. I spoke to some of our distributors that actually have licensing to distribute these type of products, and of course the alarm bells went off, and everybody got excited. This is a tremendous opportunity for mini bars in Vegas. I mean, just the mini bar business in Las Vegas. There's over 200,000 mini bars in Las Vegas. So we started to talk about it, and basically we told them we couldn't do a tremendous amount of marketing this year, but we wanted to try to lock up the position and start working on the importation, shipping, and all the the information has to be done on our side. Fortunately, we were granted by our government. We have the permits and such to import. They're working with the Mexican side to export, and we're very close to bringing in our first loads of that, and very excited about that. We have quite a number of people interested. There's only about 2 or 3 products on the market now. There's some Jack Daniels and Coke and some others, but it's not even begun to blossom, and it's very exciting for us. I think it could be tens of millions of dollars just in Vegas and Miami and New York markets alone, which will be our focus in the beginning. On the other side of your question, by virtue of email feedback, we've had hundreds of people that are from around the country that have sent in recipes, and Facebook that we're mixing Coma with this and Coma with that. So at this moment, we actually have I think it's 35 mixed drinks. It's a mixer guide that we've just put into, we finished formatting it and going to print for all of our on-premise accounts. Example, New York, and all the big major markets at first, of course. And basically, our drink, Coma Unwind and anything, is your last call drink. It's your 11 o'clock and on drink. It's from the bartenders and servers want to go home at 2:30. They start trying to sell the relaxation and alcohol. And basically, unlike Red Bull and vodka at 2:30, everybody wants to fight. This gives everybody an opportunity to relax even more, stay drunk, and they want to go home. So it's got a tremendous upside. We also have a lot going on with interest into the penal system to calm down people that are incarcerated. We have people that are presenting it to more and more airlines and the travel industry for hotels, mini bars. It's pretty much blowing wide open for us on this side.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these Coma cocktails, as you call them. You got the snoozeberry, the chill teeny, the grape escape. I think it's a fantastic idea and marketing strategy there. Yeah, I was reading through all your press releases over the last couple of days here and trying to find out, where I can all find your products. And frankly, I've come to the conclusion, where can't I find your products? You guys are in the U.S., Mexico, all over Central America, Italy, all throughout Europe, Middle East. You just expanded into Australia, New Zealand area, Africa. I mean, this is starting to get huge. You guys are everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and it's getting ready to get a lot bigger. I'm off. I haven't even announced it yet, but on Independence Day on the 4th, I'm actually starting my journey back to Europe. And I can't talk a lot about that at this point, but I can tell you that what I'm doing over there is probably, as far as, maybe not a stock issue, but as far as a personal achievement issue, I'm going over there to hopefully close a deal that's probably 10 times bigger than what's going to be announced today. And today is one of the biggest things I've ever done in my career. So I'm going to be in Poland.
You can't leave us hanging like that, can you?
Yeah. Well, I do have to, and I apologize. I'm a loose lips kind of guy. Often I have trouble keeping secrets, but
no. It's, you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, this is something that's going to affect us in tens and tens of millions of dollars, and it's not something I just started yesterday. Something I've been working on for 5 or 6 months by a chance meeting with someone, and again, it's a tremendous opportunity that's going to add value of tens and tens of millions of dollars. It's been a long work in progress, and it's extremely exciting. And between again, as a personal achievement to and in due time you'll see that announcement. You'll say, wow, that's an amazing accomplishment. And so it's getting very exciting. And yes, we're working with regulators, every country, trademark, federal laws, rules, importation. Every country has its own gift basket of hurdles. Just sent product to Guam last week to a major bottler distributor there to cover the Indo-Asia island chains. This Australian partnership is going to production now. We just finished with the packaging for the Australian market, and actually meeting up with one of the participators. They're in the States this next week. I'm going to meet with them in New York. It's very exciting. They're very excited to take our product nationwide in both Australia and New Zealand. So it's by the end of this year, we're going to have quite a bit of the world covered as far as personnel, people, and outreach. And it's again, it gets bigger every day. Every day, my email gets a new strange email from somebody that either passed on Red Bull distribution 20 years ago and regretted it ever since, or somebody that's a new entrepreneur or a distributor that's been around forever that doesn't want it to get past them because they do see the light.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. You guys are covering both sides with the energy drinks and the relaxation drinks. And, I mean, as far as the big news when you're traveling to Europe, I suppose shareholders can be satisfied with potentially hearing about tens and tens of millions of dollars in a couple of months. I suppose we can wait that long for some news like that. But,
yeah. Well, one of the parts of my mantra is I want to make all my products in the United States. We're putting the little flag on all the cans. I'm not I'm a patriot. I don't think I'm a freakish patriot, but I feel like if Red Bull can make all the Red Bull products from Austria and Belgium and Brussels and ship them around the world, then there's no reason that we can't. So I've been working on, co-packing partnerships in any place that flies the American flag and has an American currency, just so I can make sure that works. So if it's sold in Germany or if it's sold in Russia or if it's sold in, New Zealand, it's going to be made, in a territory or under an American flag. And that's part of something I'm proud to say that I take, maybe at the end of the day, it may be a, fraction off what I could make, but in the grand scheme of things, I think there's a lot to be said. The more I travel abroad, and again, my abroad travels has only been the last 5 years, where the more and more I travel abroad, I hear the same things, no matter where I am, that people in other countries, contrary to what we hear, like American-made products. They have a comfort in knowing that it was made under guidelines and it doesn't have arsenic or lead in it, or you hear that and it makes you feel good, and it's a worthy cause to try to to make that work under any circumstances, and that's what we're doing. We're finding cost savings to offset anything that may make it a little higher here, but it's definitely working out.
Oh, cool. Well, at least you're maintaining the United States integrity. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's different types of regulations as far as what can go into drinks in different countries. So that might ultimately be a better thing that you're manufacturing exclusively in the United States here. Why don't you speak a little bit on some of your affiliations, strategic alliances? I know you guys have had a lot of interaction with some celebrities. There's obviously the Jennifer Lopez video, some other celebrities, NASCAR, MTV. Can you briefly touch on that?
Well, it's just been, growing, the growing number of both people that have, we've met. Obviously, J-Lo was last year. Opportunity came up to be in her music video. Was a great experience for us and got us a lot of traction, credibility, not just in the United States. The video's been seen 120 million times around the world. I did spend the day with her down in Mexico. She was a tremendous human being, and it was really a fantastic experience to be there and witness how the project came together. Nothing like I expected, of course. It was very thrown together. It's very unusual how they shoot those videos, but for me, I like everything pre-planned and predetermined. That was like very different. Anyway, it was a great experience, and we just tried to diversify every single fractional dollar that we have. It's when you're a microcap company that came out of some of the problems we had when we first got this company in 2009, and we're trying to look and grab for every opportunity to build the brand. People think you just call up a store and they're going to say, oh, come on in, bring your drink, and it's that easy. It's not that easy. We're building not just a brand. We're building a category. We're not another something. We are the something. And it's not as easy. You need consumer demand to create an environment. Stores want the product because nobody wants to put something in that doesn't sell. So it's been a ballet between telling the story and everything is a ballet in time, and we've just maximized every dollar. The NASCAR stuff, I'm a part-time driver. I've made my first NASCAR race in 1988 in the NASCAR Busch Series, and I've raced even up to this year in the Camping World Truck Series, and I could plan on doing one or two more this season. I have great friends in the business. I know many, many drivers, owners, and when they call up and say, hey, look, I don't have a sponsor this week. It's normally $300,000. Can you do something for $5,000? And I've got a driver that, for example, recently Scott Speed, he was the Red Bull driver in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series and former Formula One Red Bull driver, and tremendous fan base. And for a fraction of the dollars, I'm on his car, the relaxation drink at a major NASCAR event. Well, those are the things that people think that, you spend in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and I'm not. I'm spending fractional dollars because I need every dime to build product and personnel and everything else. So we've diversified our money and, music videos. We've done 2. We've got the NASCAR stuff spread around to probably 15, 20 different drivers that have driven for Budweiser, that have driven for Dale Earnhardt, my good friend Steve Park, who used to drive for Dale Earnhardt. I mean, I've had very blessed of my friends that have rallied their cars racing this weekend in Kentucky, and we're paying for hotel rooms, and it just helps build the brand in any way, shape, or form. And again, some point we'll have a tens of millions of dollar budget to build the brand, and we can do things a little different. Give it perspective. The 5-Hour Energy, which we know is everywhere. We have the Relax 5, and we have the Coleman wine shots that are really taking off. We have two products in the relaxation shot. They have a $72 million budget this year at 5-Hour Energy. It's hard to compete. I mean, not that we're competing with them, but, to tell the whole world we have a relaxation shot, that's a big chunk of money. So we'll get there. We'll just keep doing what we do, and it's working.
Yep, you're definitely building the foundation to get there, that's for sure. And it sounds like we're not going to have to wait too long before we're getting those big ads on your drinks as well. And also, just mentioning your potential blast, you guys do have that little energy shot as well with
We
one of
do,
your
and
first
actually,
drinks.
yeah,
So,
yeah, the Potencia shots. It's a better tasting energy shot than 5 Hour. Actually, I had one this morning. We drink them here pretty often. I usually spill them into our Piranha water, which is a bottled water product.
oh,
And
nice.
I make it last over a couple hours, or if I'm at the gym, I'll drink an energy shot in water, and it's refreshing. We're actually closing the deal shortly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, to get that on more shelves in Central America. It's bilingually packaged.
Mhm.
The 5 Hour Energy, fortunately for us, hasn't made a major push outside of the United States yet. Most people don't realize it. Here in the U.S., it's everywhere. In Europe, is almost non-existent to see an energy shot. So you'll hear in the future that our Potencia Blast is making progress in the European markets, and we've already got it going into the Caribbean, Latin countries, Central America, and hopefully in the next 6-8 months we'll be able to make a bigger push before 5 Hour Energy gets there down into South America and more into Mexico. So that's it. Those are markets that haven't been really bombarded yet by the 5 Hour folks. And again, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to get there either with the same time they are or before them.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, another list that I started to make last night as I was going through all the press releases, trying to tie things together, is a list of your distributors and a list of your retail partners. And after about, I don't know, a half an hour of going through those, I finally just gave up because the list was going to be way too long, and it would literally take us about 10 hours to get through the entire list. Are there any key strategic retail partners or distributors? I know you recently announced a huge deal with BeBevCo convenience stores. I think that was your biggest retail partner to date as far as the number of stores that you guys will be distributed in throughout the southern United States. But as far as distributors, retail partners, are there any key ones that you want to mention?
Well, I mean, obviously the BeBevCo partnership was a fantastic feather in our cap. They absolutely, I'm personally involved in that project. We have a great person with some vision there at that company that has a lot of experience in the times that, when people said 5 Hour Energy, where's that going? He was saying it's going somewhere, and he's got data and great records that it exploded just as he predicted. He's become quite a interesting fellow to talk to, and inspired me to do a few things and help me learn a few things. That's what we do here. It's every day we're learning, and we're learning from people in industry. We're hearing the call, and it's great that they brought us in. I think full implementation is just about done. They have stores from New Mexico to Amarillo to Temple, Texas, and then on over to Mississippi. So they have pockets of stores which will only help us. They're not all in one area because the way they're structured, they're buying up these chains, these groups. They have a lot of confidence in what we've got, and we have a lot of confidence they're a class act. So, that's one. We have Flash Foods in Georgia, which have 160 stores. Another group that, had us in and has been moving more and more product. We have a group of 7-Elevens in West Virginia, 60 or 70. There were 90. I think they sold off some. There are chains in the Apple Marts in Virginia. We have chains up in Wisconsin, chains in Michigan. And they keep coming in more and more. The 30 to 50 store chains are the ones that have the biggest appetite, and the independents. Again, it's a thing that shareholders don't realize. The Circle K's and 7-Elevens, not so much 7-Eleven because they do have a lot of owner-operator 7-Elevens, but, the big chains, they do wait and see. They wait for all the mom and pops build the brand, so when they put it in, it doesn't take 90 days to start turning product. It turns day one. They'll tell you straight up, they don't want to be brand builders. They want to just sell product, and it takes time to get there and to get their comfort zone. But, every day you add a 30, 40 stores is one more step toward getting there. And we have done that. And I can tell you without names, there's some serious announcements coming up, including today's, that are only tips of big icebergs. And in July, I've got 2 meetings with 2 groups that have over 10,000 stores. And, these are not the first round meetings. These are the second and third round meetings. And these are the closers. So there's some, expanded excitement on that. As far as distributors, on our shot side, we do have 5 products on our shots. Our distributors range from an independent. You could sell my shots if you wanted to. We make it very easy. Buy wholesale, sell retail, and it's very profitable. You can buy as small as 6 boxes and sell them about $6-7 profit per box. The shots is a wide open. Inspires entrepreneurs, young people, old people. You don't have to do it full time. We've got firefighters, night watchmen, security guards selling our shots, and then we have major merchandisers selling them. So it's very broad. The drinks, we basically are the same thing. We have certain markets where they're independent owner operators. If a guy has 2 or 3 counties in his state, maybe wants to sell them and make some extra money, we'll do that until maybe there's a bigger opportunity and give him a buyout opportunity so he's not going to do all the work and then, we leave him high and dry. We try to make it worthwhile. But our distributor partners, they range from RC Cola distributors, Dr. Pepper distributors, Coke distributors. We've got a number of Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch distributors, and they're up and down the board, and there's some major announcements on that front coming as well in the next few weeks. So we just keep building on each category of everything we're doing here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm sure distributor base, retail base is only growing faster and faster as time moves on here and your brand name actually becomes known everywhere, it seems like. All right, well, we've covered a lot of stuff here. Why don't you just talk briefly about where you see your company in 1 year and 5 years down the road? How big do you expect this thing to get?
Well, I am the eternal
That's
optimist.
a tough question, I realize.
Well, it's not a tough question, and it's not, we're hitting a moving target. Recently, something we didn't touch on is we just landed a little bit deeper pockets of financial backing, which is not stock related. There's not a convertible debenture. There's not a stock guarantee. Our new partner is based on helping us fund purchase orders and basically eliminates the need for me to sweat out new orders. And it's about a $4 million line of credit that I can tap. That took a tremendous amount of pressure off me to do certain things, constantly on the stock side. Now I can take a call from somebody that wants a, massive expansion quicker. With that said, I truly believe that probably in the next 12 months, we're going to probably have revenues in the $30 to $40 million. At the end of 30, I'd say in the next 12 to 14 months, we'll be on target to do $30 to $40 million.
Wow.
I'd say in 24 months with the growth and things that are going to happen on the European continent. It's so big that I humbly would say that it's many, many millions. It's not even it's inconceivable, but it's real. At the same time, it could be in the 50, 60, 70 million dollars over the next 24 months. We are sitting on we joke about it a little bit here. We've had some advertisements on our web stuff with a rocket, but we are sitting on a rocket, and we're not just sitting there anymore. Engines are warming, the plume is coming out, as you'll see today in the press release that goes live at 10. The rocket is leaving the launch pad today. It's been leaving the launch pad, but it's really taken off now, and it's just very surreal, and I'm very excited that it's happening. It has me thinking about different things now, about, other people, leadership. We've got a good core of, lawyers and got 5 different lawyers for different categories, accounting, and there are things that are going to take us from what in beverages, from a mom and pop company of $10 million, $15 million value to $100 million, like many other companies have. 5 Hour Energy, perfect example. Honest Tea, Monster Energy. A lot of these companies, they joke about it. Your overnight success that took 10 years. So that's where we are. We're in that window of explosion.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of these drink companies hit a tipping point. They build this foundation for so long. They develop these key partnerships and alliances, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this thing's the biggest thing on the market. So I could easily see that.
Right. The consumer demand is certainly, it's sort of like, consumers, and I don't want to make this sound wrong, consumers are infused by brand washing. And consumers will want something if you tell them enough times that they want it. And I'm not saying that I'm forcing my brand on anybody, but what I am doing is I'm constantly telling people that there's a relaxation alternative. There's an alternative to there's a 0-calorie product that'll help you relax and sleep versus a glass of wine. If you're a woman, you don't want another 300 calories at 3 in the afternoon. There's an alternative, and it's coma, unwind, relaxation. And that's the message. So the bottom line is we just keep telling the story. Fortunately for us, our marketing has been very diverse. There's some others out there, Marley's Mellow Mood, very niche marketed. We got a few others out there that are urban marketed, but that's not what you're going to see in mass market retailers and other stores. You're not going to see Novocaine sold in your local, family-friendly C-store. It's just, you may see it at Spencer's Gifts, and you may see it at, your local head shop, but you're probably not going to see it sitting there at your grocery store. That's right product, wrong concept. And fortunately for us, we're in a very typical can people can relate to with a fantastic product. People love it. We've never bought back a single case of drink from an unsatisfied customer. That's unheard of, and we're very proud of that.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, and I mean, you're mentioning the massive revenues that you potentially see in the future, and you guys aren't doing too shabby right now. I think just this last quarterly report that you put out, 670,000 gross revenues. So, I mean, you guys are doing pretty close to 2.5 million in revenues on a forward-looking basis right now, and that's not even factoring in growth. So that's
right.
Very, very significant.
Right.
Let's talk.
Well, Sorry.
No, go for it. No, you have the floor.
we had sales from Potencia, and we merged the two brands into the BeBevCo beverage portfolio. So that obviously helped going from a 0 brand, 0 volume business, bringing in something that was existing. Before I acquired BeBevCo beverage, we were already 2 years in and almost $1 million into brand building Potencia products. So, we did a lot of the footwork long before the acquisition of the public vehicle came to fruition. So that helped, and obviously we're really seeing a lot of the results from that 2 years prior to the BeBevCo acquisition. But now today's announcement basically doubles. I mean, you're going to see something today that it's a beverage dream come true for us. And yes, we're on a major growth spurt, and it's going to continue to multiply. But today's partnership that we'll announce, doubles our quarterly in overnight, instantly, and that's for 1 month. This is a launch, but it's this is big news, and numbers are gonna start multiplying quicker and quicker.
Oh, you said you weren't going to hint at the big press release coming out in about 20 minutes, but I guess it's going to double revenues. That's not a bad thing to hear as a shareholder. We'll read that news when it comes out. I won't try to tease it out of you. I don't want to ruin anything that you have planned with that press release. So I want it to be a surprise for shareholders in addition to the radio interview this morning.
People tell me all the time, and I'm incredibly grateful to our shareholders that are the longs, the people that know me, the people that I talk to. I try to be as transparent as possible. I try to help people understand as much as possible. I understand concerns, but I also understand there are a lot of people that are just, trying to sift in, sift out, grab a little money. I get that, and I don't hold that against anyone. I try to understand the concerns of shareholders, but at the end of the day, the brand is the most important part of this project. The shareholders will be rewarded when the brand is successful, and for me, I get paid, but I'm not overpaid. I make the same money now that I made as a union carpenter in 1989. So, there's no exploitation of shareholders' money and investment in this company. This is every dime is in the product in our facility. We have a tractor trailer now. We have a building, 25,000 square feet that we have equity in. We've remodeled, had the mayor out here. I mean, everybody is welcome. If you're a real investor and you're going to put more than $5,000 into our company, jump on a plane, fly out here, spend an hour with us, see it, touch it, feel it. You're always invited. I've never said anything other than that, but nothing makes me more excited or aggravated that someone that will try to help me, try to explain to me that I'm not doing it right. I'm doing 10 times more with what I have to work with than most people could ever do. But that, the 10, 11 people that sit in this office that get paychecks on Friday would attest that we're very real and we're very excited and we're all working very hard.
Oh, absolutely. And, I'm one of those people who looks for the long-term type company, especially in these penny markets. And it's very, very difficult to find. Most of these traders, will claim that they're long-term, but they just want the quick flip for 2 weeks. But I can see that you are literally building a company for the long term. And I think it's about finally time where your share price is actually responding to that. And I just want to touch base a little bit on the share structure here. I know you had a conference call earlier in 2012, and you were talking about being transparent. And you basically told your shareholders, yeah, we need to raise a little bit more money, and then it's going to be done. And, later on in 2012, when we start the share buyback, we'll take care of that share structure. Right now, you're sitting at a 2.5 billion authorized share count. And in that press release, 2.4 billion outstanding share count. I think your target was 2 billion. You went a little bit over. You're sitting at 2.4 billion shares, and you say dilution is 100% done right now, correct?
Almost correct. Authorized, yes. 2.5 billion was the authorized.
Mm-hmm.
Back in March, I had a live video conference, which I'm going to do after my trip to Europe in the next couple weeks. We're going to do another one. I basically said, we do need to raise more money. I had a rough dollar amount, and I predicted that we could do it between 1.8 billion and 2.2, 2.3 billion. Obviously, everything is subject to the price. I mean, if you're bringing funding at 0003 versus 0007, obviously it's a tremendous difference.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 2.4 was my limit. 2.5 was authorized. 2.4 is my limit. But I think that right now we've actually only got about 2.25 or it's less than 2.3 billion out there. I left a cushion in case of any scenario that would arise. Try to over deliver a little bit here on this deal and leave a little bit of a cushion.
Okay.
But as I said, in that video conference, I felt like we could get there. We did come up a little short on the dollar amount, but I didn't want to push the share count any higher. And then of course, as I mentioned, we found outside funding that won't have any effect on shares, and that obviously alleviated that necessity to do it. That use the vehicle in that way anymore. And as I also said, once we turn, once we have we're in a certain area where our growth is eating up all our profits. But now with this external funding, I think that in 6 to 8 months from now, probably the first of the year, we're going to do a methodical, progressive buyback. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to buy back 2 billion shares in 2 months. It's probably going to be more like 500-600 million shares in 6 months, depending on, certain variables that come up. But ultimately, I think that we'll probably buy it back to 500 to 800 million, or, probably in 12 months, maybe 1 billion. And that'll be our sweet spot. And we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But I definitely want to go back the other direction. And then at that point, we'll make a decision, what to do next. I thought we were going to uplist to the OTC QB a while ago. I had a group of interested parties trying to get me to do that. And at the end of the day, I just didn't see the point. It's costly, it's time consuming, and I didn't see any real upside versus being fully reporting or current on the OTC. If I'm going to do all that work and all that energy, I just don't see the point. We could go straight to the Nasdaq if I want to do all that extra work, and that may be in the future. And again, 6, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months from now, we'll make a decision to buy it back, completely buy it back, or buy it down to a very tight-knit group of very hardcore investors that, are the sole survivors of a buyback and the ones that really want to stay on board. And then then maybe we'll have a meeting of 100 people and say, look, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to go private and be part of my private, collection, or do you want to go to the big boards and who knows what offers will come down the road from now till then from other sources. So that's basically the overview.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, even looking a few years, 5 years down the road, if you guys are sitting under a 1.5 billion outstanding share count with, close to 100 million in revenues, that's not too shabby for uplisting to one of the bigger exchanges, as you mentioned, the Nasdaq. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The Nasdaq, and I'm not a trader. I'm not a stock trader. I've got some small stocks that my grandparents bought from me years ago. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a stock trader. I understand it. It amazes me that one day the markets are screaming high, and next day an oil tanker runs into a tugboat in Portugal, and next thing you know, the whole world's in this frenzy going the other way. I'm not sure that I'm cut out for being the CEO of something so volatile versus going into a private situation. Unless again, and I may bring a CFO in that's more in tone with that. I'm a true believer. If you've built something worth 50 million or 100 million or 200 million or like the Monster Energy deal, talking about an $11 billion buyout, by Coke just a few weeks ago. That's not inconceivable for us to be there in 3 to 5 years. But I'm not sure I'm the guy that's going to be the one wanting to pander and constantly be the face on the NASDAQ side. But again, those are things that we'll look at in the future. Right now, it's all about brand building, sales, increase the value of this, regardless of what direction we go. All those that help us get there will be well compensated, and whatever method we decide to end up with, it's going to be very happy times for everyone.
Very nice. Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned a buyout too. I could easily see this thing a few years down the road getting some interest in that department. All right. Well, do you have a website where investors can go and check out your company? I think you actually have a couple of websites.
We do. BeBevCo. It's Brian Edward again, Victor Charlie Orange. BeBevCo.com is where you can see the JLo video. We have our own TV show that we sponsor on Fox Sports called the Chris Lafferty Motorsports TV, which has our TV commercial, and it also is a show that's brought to you by our product. We also have the brand side. We have Coma Unwind has its own, which is specifically about the brand. And then, of course, we have Facebook and Twitter accounts and growing followers from all over the place. And here in the next 15 minutes, the whole world will know about what we've been up to. So we're extremely excited. We are at the beginning, not the end, of fantastic things to come. And what we'll announce here in just a few minutes it's the tip of the iceberg. And as many people know, this is not a fabrication. This is hard work, determination, great product, great vision, and we have nothing but excitement here. So thank you guys very much for having me on again.
Oh, definitely. We've covered tons of information here. Is there anything else that you just want to add? I know that was kind of like a little rollout bit that you just gave, but is there anything else you want to add before we leave the air here?
Never been on the iHub marketed radio show here. I've been on a number of radio shows in my career between racing and everything else that I've been involved in. Thank you again for it. I urge people, whether you're going to invest or not, go to our website, go to Amazon, pick up, drop $5 or $10 and buy some Coleman wine drinks. Try them out. You'll be absolutely amazed. If your wife is stressed and you're a husband, this is a gift that you I promise you'll get return favored. If you're a young adult, the college stressed out, works for you too. Grandmas love it. Moms give it to young kids, calm them down. They're taking them off Ritalin. Go to the website, buy some, try it. Then go to your local retailer and say, look, why don't you sell Coleman wine relaxation drink? It's growing everywhere, and help us put the pressure on the chains, and then it'll be there. And then your investment, you could see it grow right before your eyes. I have a gas station near my home that just put it in recently, and I go in there about every 2 days, and I see them sliding down. And I talked to the clerk. She said one guy came in, bought 12 cans the other day, and I was like, yes. So that's what you have to do, and be part of this project, and someday you could tell the story to your family.
Yeah, that's great. And just so you know, we have several hundred people listening right now, and I'm sure there's going to be thousands of hits within about 5 minutes of closing this interview. But I might have to make a trip back home to Mandan, Bismarck, North Dakota, and see if I can find that little distribution center that you mentioned earlier in the interview. That's fantastic that you guys
email out. Yeah, I'll drop you some in them. I'll have our shipping clerk drop you some into to all of you folks over there. Just drop me an email, and I'll that shipping address, and we'll shoot you out some. And I'll tell you, we have radio DJs that do the morning drive. They go to bed at 8:30 at night because they have to get up 3:45 to do the morning ride-in. We have radio DJs that are finding that solution to help them get to bed. We just shot up a bunch of product and have an announcement coming to a group in Alaska where it's only daylight for, whatever. Where it's daylight a long period, so people can't sleep, while it's daylight. So we have some things going on there. It's very, very, very versatile, and it's very, very exciting. So shoot me an address. We'll get you some samples.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Weber, for joining us this morning. Definitely a pleasure here at STT Radio. And as always, we want to invite you to come back anytime. And hope that you will at some point in the future here, especially as your company makes the significant progress that we've covered here in this interview. So we definitely want to thank you for your time, and we appreciate it very much. So thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and happy trading out there today. Thank you.
We look forward to the fantastic news today.
Bye-bye.
All
wow.
Right. Excellent job, Haas. Way to go.
I think we needed about 2 more hours to cover everything. He is a great speaker, and it sounds like he's building a fantastic company. Wow.
Yeah, he sounds like a great guy. You could tell by the sound of his voice how passionate he is about his work and all the research that has gone into it. I like that one fact that he said in the future that for every 10 energy drinks there are out in the market, there's going to be 7
relaxation drinks. Yeah, for sure. No, the market's huge, and even marketing it with that new distributor down in Mexico, I really like that avenue where you can market it with the alcohol combination as well. I mean, that's a huge market for them too. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just like hearing numbers like tens of millions.
Sure.
So, all right. Well, fantastic show. And I don't know. Let's wrap it up, huh? Let's get to trading. Let's keep an eye out for the Beta Beverage news coming out shortly here.
Good job, Haas. You kicked butt, man. That was good stuff. Thank you again, Brian. Good stuff, man. All right, guys. Thanks to everybody that joined us in the chat room. You guys rocked it.
Yep, we should have an archived version for the people who didn't get to listen live or people who want to re-listen. How long will that take to get out?
Well, considering I got some trading to do, I'll be as fast as I can, but I'll try to get it in the hour, boys.
We'll get it out as soon as we can. We'll go post it on the boards for you guys.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.